Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and this may look very familiar to some people. Last night I did this video, and I think it was about a 10 to 12 minute video. And for some reason, all last night there was some people who viewed the video and left comments, so I know they saw the whole video. But for some reason today, at some point, the video went from 10 minutes to 3 minutes, and it cut a bunch of stuff off with no explanation. I didn't do any editing. So it's kind of a head scratcher. I have no idea why. So I'm going to redo this. And for those of you that have seen this video yesterday, I apologize. I'm just going to go through, and you're probably going to hear a lot of the same things. But I do have one extra title that I threw in, and I'm going to show that at the end. So these are some of the pickups that I've had over the last week or two, and I have 8 Blu-ray titles and 1 DVD title, and I'm going to go through and start with Alien 2, On Earth, Midnight Legacy. And this movie came out in 1980, and it was a blatant ripoff of the 1979 Alien movie with Sigourney Weaver. And this is an Italian movie, and it's a sci-fi horror, and it's nowhere near the Alien series, but it's a good cheesy sci-fi film. I know Killer Nerd left a comment and said he did not care for the movie, and I can totally see that, but I had a little fun with it. I thought it was decent, and I own it because it's a collectible piece. And Killer Nerd also mentioned that the company that put this out, Midnight Legacy, apparently now they're defunct, so maybe that's why this is going for such a high price. I paid $35 for this on eBay, and I've seen it go up anywhere up to $70 for this. So I'll give you guys a little quick viewing of the film. It's a very low budget film. It has a nice slipcase, slipcover here, and it was number 1 from Midnight Legacy. And apparently this will be the only Blu-ray that these guys put out if they're no longer in business. And actually the seller that I bought this from on eBay claims that he is the owner of this company, so maybe that explains why he's selling them for $35. He's probably just trying to get rid of them. But this is a region-free movie, ABC, and it's the unrated version. So it's a good little collectible to add to your collection, but if you're expecting a great movie for $35, you'll probably be pretty disappointed, because this is very campy, very cheesy, very low buck, so you got to kind of know what you're getting into. But I feel for $35 this is a nice collectible to have in your collection. So that is Alien 2 on Earth from Midnight Legacy. And next up I have the only DVD in this update, and this is Raiders of the Living Dead. And this movie came out in 1986. And this is from Image Entertainment. And this is another low buck operation. It's another one of those films where it's a mad scientist who lives on a deserted island, and he's creating a legion of undead. He's bringing the dead back to life. And it's another very low buck movie, and this was on my wish list on eBay for a couple of years, and I noticed recently that the price had been going up a little bit. I ended up getting this for $10 plus shipping, but I saw other sellers were selling it for in the 25 to 30 range, so I wanted to grab this for 10 while I could, because I think anything higher than that, I might have been willing to go up to maybe 20 at the tops, but I think anything beyond that I would have probably just let it go. But this has 3 cuts of the film, which I've only seen the first one so far, and that is Raiders of the Living Dead, and that has 12 chapters. And then you have another alternate title called Dying Day, which has 12 chapters. And then there's yet a third cut called Dark Night, and it has 9 chapters. So I have not watched the other 2 cuts, so I can't really compare anything. But this is a very, if you look on the back, you'll see some of the makeup. It almost looks like that French zombie film called Zombie Lake, where it just looks like they put powder on their faces and called them zombies. But you know, these kind of movies can be fun. There's a certain charm to these low buck movies, and I'm glad to own this in my collection. So I would recommend picking it up if you can get it for, you know, 20 or less. I'd say add it to your collection. So that is Raiders of the Living Dead from 1986. And next up we have a Kino film called Sabata. And I think this is where about my other video cut out before I got to talk about Sabata. So this is a Lee Van Cleef spaghetti western. And it was came out in 1969. It was filmed in Spain and Italy. And it's about Lee Van Cleef's character, who is Sabata. He's the steely-eyed gunslinger, the mysterious man who wanders into town. Finds out that the townsfolk have been robbed by some of the pillars of society, some of the higher-ups in the town, have stolen $100,000 from the bank from these people. And they purchased a chunk of land that was going to be bought by the railroad, so they wanted to take that $100,000 and bankroll it and make more money off of the railroad. So when Sabata comes to town, he takes vengeance for the townfolk. And this is a very decent spaghetti western, and I always like Lee Van Cleef. I think he's most of the time he plays a bad guy. He plays a good villain, but in this one he plays a very good guy. And I showed yesterday, I wanted to kind of show you a comparison of this Kino film, and the next one up is a Mill Creek release that I'm going to be talking about here in a second. But I just wanted to kind of show people how Kino has been skimping on their features and their inside. I mean, here you have a double billing of The Grand Duel and Keoma from Mill Creek, and I think I bought this for, I don't think I paid more than $5 for this Mill Creek. So it's pretty understandable that there's no booklet, there's no inside artwork, you know, and there's two films on one disc. Okay, that's fine. I know what I'm getting into when I buy Mill Creek. But when I buy a Kino Classics, and I pay a little more money for the quality, you know, the film does look great, but there's no booklet, there's, you know, it's a very cheaply made, I mean, this is one of the weakest Blu-ray cases I've ever had. It's so light and there's hardly nothing to it, and when it was shipped in the mail, it got cracked. I mean, there's almost nothing to it. It's like paper thin. So I think Kino needs to really step their game up. And I'm not going to go on a tangent about that. I just wanted to bring that up to you guys. And another thing is there's not one special feature on here. Nothing. The film does look great. I will give them that. But I want a little more. You know, Kino Classics, you got to step your game up a little bit. If you want my money, you got to step your game up. And that's the end of the rant. So let's go on to the Grand Duel and Keoma. The Grand Duel is another Lee Van Cleef film. It came out in 1972. And Keoma is a Franco Nero film. And you know Franco Nero as the original Django. And this came out in 1976. And these are both spaghetti westerns. And they're both very good films. I really love Keoma. As I said yesterday, I think I would give Keoma about an 8.5 out of 10. It's right up there with the best of any spaghetti western I've ever seen. You know, as far as like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, I would probably give that a 9.5 out of 10. That's a great movie. This is right up there, 8.5. So, and as far as The Grand Duel, I'd probably give that about a 7 out of 10. But it's a very, very solid movie. There's nothing wrong with 7 out of 10. And The Grand Duel is Lee Van Cleef plays another good guy. He's an ex-sheriff who tries to help an innocent man against a gang of outlaws, pretty much. That's it in a nutshell. And then Keoma, he's a half-breed, Indian and white, I guess. And after the Civil War, he comes back to his hometown to find that it's under the thumb of ex-Confederates and who raid the town, and they're terrorizing the villagers. And not only that, but Keoma's 3 brothers have joined with the bad guy. So now he has to try to take his town back and fight this Confederate guy and his 3 brothers at the same time. And this is a very, very good movie. I really love Keoma. I had this on DVD for the longest time. I would have liked to see a standalone version of Kioma, and there may be one out there. But for now, I just grabbed this twin pack because it was so cheap. I just had to grab this. So I do recommend I mean, you know, this is Mill Creek, and the quality is good. But for, you know, you get 2 movies for $5. You can't really go wrong with that. And this is an Enzo Castellari film, and it's written by George Eastman, who was the Anthropophagus, the Grim Reaper. And he wrote the film, and he was also in a lot of spaghetti westerns in the early days in the 60s. So go check this one out, guys. Pick it up. It's very cheap. And up next we have the Runaway Train from Arrow Video. And I ended up picking this up on one of the Facebook trading sites. I picked this up for $15, which I thought was a great deal. 15 shipped. And this is a very heavy set. It's a 2-disc. It's a Blu-ray DVD, and then it comes with a very thick book. I wouldn't even call this a booklet. This is, I think it's over 30 pages. Let's see. Yeah, it's 36 pages. And this is a very good movie. It's got Jon Voight and what's her name? Rebecca De Mornay. And Eric Roberts is in here too. You see Eric Roberts there. Goes back there somewhere. There he is. And then you got the Blu-ray right here. You got the DVD. And then you got the reversible artwork here. And I believe this is the original artwork. And I believe this is the commissioned. So this is a good movie. It's about a couple of prisoners who are in prison in the beginning of the movie. Jon Voight's character is the older prisoner, and Eric Roberts is the younger of the two. And these guys, they formulate a plan to escape, and they do, and they get on this train. And Rebecca De Mornay is a utility worker working on the train. And as they're trying to escape, they're being pursued by cops and security and all this. And as the train is spiraling out of control, they realize there's no conductor. So they're blazing through this mountainside and through the snow. And that's another thing I liked about this movie is I really like I like winter scenes in the movies. I think it adds a little extra element to the film that I really enjoy. That the icy scenes in the winter and stuff like that. And this is a very good movie. I could easily see this as a Criterion edition, and I hope someday it is. I wouldn't mind double dipping on this. But I do recommend Runaway Train. And up next is a film that Killer Nerd 75, Mark, recommended to me. And this is Mind Warp, Twilight Time. And this movie came out in 1992, and it stars Bruce Campbell, and it's a post-apocalyptic war, or a post-apocalyptic movie. I've only watched about the first 20 minutes of it. I popped it in a couple nights ago, and I was really tired, and I ended up falling asleep. And it's not because the movie was bad. I was just very, very tired. But everything that I saw, I mean, it started out slow. It shows a mother and her daughter were in some kind of like a sleep room where their dreams are. It's almost like a virtual reality type world where they lay in these beds and they plug in, and you know the dreams that they have are the lives that they live. They're living through their dreams basically, and that's about as far as I got. It was a little slow in the beginning, but I see in the back there's some pretty nice looking special effects and costumes and stuff like that, and I am looking forward to watching this. And if Mark Killer Nerd 75 said this is good, then hey, I bought it, so I'll take his word for it. That is Mind Warp, Twilight Time. Up next is a Charles Bronson film from Twilight Time called Hard Times. And this movie came out in 1975. And on the Facebook page on Twilight Time last week, they said this had officially sold out, so I barely got it in time. I was lucky enough to grab it. It comes with this little thin booklet, maybe a 5-6 page booklet. And this is a really good movie. I enjoy this movie. It's about Charles Bronson's character as a street fighter during the Great Depression, kind of a bare knuckles fighter. And James Coburn's character is he's kind of a I wouldn't really call him he's not a swindler, but he's kind of almost a con man, where he kind of hooks up with Charles Bronson to make money on these bare knuckle fights. And Charles Bronson is a really tough badass in this movie, and you can see here that it's no holds barred. It's There's no rules, there's no gloves, no mouthpiece, no referee. It's just the last man standing is the winner. And these guys end up making a ton of money. And this is a very good movie. I recommend it. That is Hard Times. And you may still be able to find this on eBay. I know it's once these sell out on Twilight Time, a lot of people on eBay like to jack the prices way up, which is a shame. But if you can still find this for a decent price, I would say snatch it up. It's a good movie. And then I have my third Twilight Time. The last one in this update is The Mechanic, and it's another Charles Bronson film. And this one came out in 1972. And it's about Charles Bronson is a hitman. He's an aging hitman, and he takes a younger protege under his wing to teach him how to be a professional killer. And without giving too much of the movie away, at some point there's a betrayal, and I don't want to give it away, but it's a pretty good ending. There's a little twist in here, and it's a good film. And this one's still available, but I would have to think that the quantity of this title have to be getting pretty low, I would think. This one's been out for a little while. It's a more popular title. Charles Bronson films seem to sell pretty good, so if you're on the fence about getting this one, I'd probably grab it sooner rather than later, or you may miss out completely on this or have to pay higher later. So that is The Mechanic. Very solid film. And then the last one I have is a thanks to Manny Raposo. If you're watching, Manny, thank you. When I watched your last update video, you had this. This is a Scream Factory title, and this is a Vincent Price classic, From a Whisper to a Scream. It's an anthology film, and if you order it directly from Scream Factory, they send you this nice little film cell, and it actually has a nice little thank you letter, and it has an actual signature from the guy who made the film, which I thought was beautiful. Very nice touch. That's an actual pen signature. And then you get an actual, I don't think it's going to be able to show up on here, but you get an actual film cell, which is really, really nice. I thought that was a beautiful touch, and I think this is going for a pretty decent price. I think it's about 20 or less on Scream Factory, and then you have the alternate title with the alternate artwork. And Sammy Falligar 517, if you're watching, do not order this film. That's all I'm going to say. Sammy's going to be celebrating a birthday here in a couple of weeks. I believe he said it was May 19th. I could be mistaken about that. I believe it was May 19th, so it's going to be coming up here within the next couple weeks. So let's all wish Sammy a happy birthday. And Sammy, do not order this, okay? That's all I'm going to say. Hint, hint. So that is my update for this week, I guess. I do have some things pre-ordered and some things coming in the mail, but I just wanted to reshoot this since somehow YouTube ate my video up from yesterday. So thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you next time.